Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2004 here in TEW 2020, and it's time for the Nitro after Fall Brawl. But before we go to that, as we start the Halloween Havoc, again, time for me to plug the Mayhem tournament prediction contest. We already have a couple of predictions in, which is good, and probably a sign that it was a good thing for me to do that once over of the whole tournament. But again, still plenty of time to sign up because again, I'm doing this until the first show after Havoc. So you have 4 regular shows plus Havoc, and then the time until the first Nitro of that Havoc goes up to actually put up the actual predictions. And again, to go over the thing, just go to the site here. You can either put in your username on Reddit, a Twitter name, if you don't want me to use your email address. Just, again, you can put in whatever junk email address you want because it will ask you for an email address. You can put whatever junk email address you want as long as you either actually, answer that email or you put in a username on Reddit or a Twitter name, some sort of indication of what you're trying to do here. And I'm not going to call you out directly, but there was one person who did put it in production but forgot to actually put in a winner. If they hear this, then change it, great. If not, I'll email them in a couple days just to double check with them. But again, you go through here, you create your prediction, and you just choose who wins. And again, it doesn't matter who you put in as the finalist. The only thing that matters is that you get the final 4 right and the actual whoever wins. So the points you see in the game on the actual website will be slightly different from the actual final points, just because the actual finals and stuff doesn't matter. But again, I'll go through that once that's actually time for the actual tournament. And again, to go over the prizes. Here we go. So again, first prize is match at the January pay-per-view of your choice outside of the world title main event, a wrestler brought up from Developmental, a dev signing of your choice, a dev release of your choice, and 1 push and D-push of a wrestler on the roster, and 1 firing of a member of the WWF in-game roster. Within reason, there's a couple people who will be exempt from that, but not it won't be the whole main event that's exempt. And again, I will roll from that when person goes off TV, and I will roll from when that person actually is released, just to put a bit of chaos in this. Second place is a title match of your choice on Nitro, 1 push and 1 D-push, and a dev signing of your choice. And third place is a match at Nitro of your choice and a dev signing of your choice. And also, like I said, if I get 10 predictions or more, there'll also be a random drawing of everybody who did predictions outside of the top 3 from everybody, and they'll get to have a match on Nitro of their choice as well. And I might throw in some other predictions depending on how many predictions I get. But again, just go through that, and that's it. And now, on to the actual Nitro. Back with that in just a moment. So of course we start out Nitro with some stills from Fall Brawl as youngsters pushed to buy the replay as go over the big world title main event, the return of Mid-Season Morningstar, and of course Goldberg and Monty Brown facing off. This little 2 minutes, basically photos courtesy of WCW magazine gets a 73, and then we go to our opening, or we don't go to our opening, but basically what happens is as youngsters go over that, Jeff Jarrett's music comes out with the rest of the chosen few, and he basically says, Slapnuts, I did not lose that match. I did not lose last night, so I should still be in the mix to get another world title shot. Because I am the chosen one. I'm the future. I am still the chosen one here in WCW, and I will become world champion because it is my destiny. And I have backup now that actually is of the quality that belongs with me, as opposed to my prior failed partnerships. And that, of course, leads to Palumbo coming out. He basically comes out to a big pop, on his motorcycle. He gets off the motorcycle and says, look, Jeff, you didn't get pinned, but so did I neither. And Jarrett fires back, yes. Oh. Yes, the Sean Ayer's best buddy didn't get pinned, so he thinks he still belongs. Well, I fought, and Palumbo fires back, I basically was on 3-on-1 against all of you last night, and I'll take on all of the chosen few tonight if I have to get through you. Big pop for that. And then Pantera hits and RVD comes out and says, bro, nothing personal, man, as he points to Palumbo, or to you, Jarrett, but I actually won last night, and neither of you did. And if you remember, a few months back, Jeff, I kicked your ass. So if anybody should be in line for the next big world title shot after Halloween Havoc, it should be me, Rob Van Dam, Mr. Monday Night. Then Booker T comes out with Sharmell, but without his cast anymore, and he says, look, Suckers, I'm a former world champion. I'm totally recovered now, and as of next week, I'm cleared to compete. So that means I should be rising up to the top once again. And Q Eric Bischoff says, all right, look, you all have some valid arguments. But here's the thing. We need to determine. First of all, Booker, it's nice you think just because you avoided the match with RVD at Havoc, they're going to avoid forever. So I'm going to make a few matches here. At Revolution, the main event is going to be Palumbo versus Jarrett. Big pop for that. Slightly less pop because it's not Nitro. And then Nitro next week, RVD, you get your chance against Booker. And then the winners of those two matches will face off each other, and we'll see who actually is in line for the next world title. And everybody faces off. Ooh, angry. And then Jarrett fires back. Well, why do you think somebody like Palumbo's O'Hare's best buddy even deserves a shot in here? And Palumbo's like, fine, you want me to prove to you, asshole, that I deserve a title shot? I'll fight one of your buddies. And like Jarrett fights, well, it's interesting. I have a former stablemate of yours, as he points at Martin Indrax. So let's actually see if you can prove you actually even the best member of the Natural Born Thrillers. And that match is set up for later tonight, Palumbo versus Jindrak. And sort of a preview of the Palumbo Jarrett match at Revolution. And Bischoff says fine to that, and everything's set up. So this gets a 91. Decent little thing. Probably not as good as it could be because, RVD is not the best at promos. Palumbo's, good but not great. Jarrett, Bischoff, and Booker T are also good here. But yeah, let me see. Was there anything else of really note? Or was it just, okay, a little more alpha for Jarrett. Okay, I'll fix that. Improvising. But that hopefully helped things. And then we cut to, basically the announcers bring up the graphic of our huge main event tonight, which is sort of pushed as two people on the rise versus two people who had some rough nights last night, as it's AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio Jr. teaming up to take on Eddy Guerrero and Jamie Knoble. And that gets 71 as just a graphic. And then we go into the ring where Blitzrig is in the ring as Prince Osei comes out. And Prince Osei basically does the, Ted DiBiase, let me pay you as a great Prince of Ghana to not even exert any effort in this match since you're going to lose anyway. Of course, Blitz being a good babyface, says, shakes his head at that and goes right after Prince Osei, and the match is on. This gets a 56 because it's literally just a 1 minute angle, and then the actual match, which, okay, good. Anybody that didn't have much heat in Terrible Wrestling, Prince Osei defeats Blitzkrieg in 532 by pinfall. Says leaders and for lovers, but he basically probably literally goes for a big dive. Osei gets his knees up. Osei does sort of roll up to get the pin and holds the tights and gets the big one victory here on Nitro. Just a pure high spots match. I think I did. Yeah, high spots. As Osei did some impressive, he doesn't do as many huge moves as Blitzkrieg, but Osei, still is a talented wrestler despite eventually becoming a manager. And this gets a 53, Osei gets a 45, Blitzkrieg gets a 49, and post-match, Osei celebrates to a 48, as we continue to build the newcomers here in WCW. Then move forward where we're in one of these people's locker rooms, as Eddy and Knoble are basically facing off with Ebony's Sable in the background, even though I forgot to add him. And Jamie basically points out, Eddy, you're a former world champion, but, if I remember right, I beat you. So why don't you just follow my lead in tag match tonight, and I'll show you how to deal with your former buddy Ray and that young whippersnapper, young jerk AJ Styles, and we'll show to them why we're the best in the world right now, even though I'm a little better. And you can talk about family tradition, but it looks like a rare family tradition is losing to Jamie Knoble. And he's like, look, Holmes, I was in the main event last night, so yeah, you beat me once, but I'm going to lead this team. And Noble's like, yeah, you were in the main event and you lost. And he's like, you lost again last night? Yes, because I got unlucky. You faced a pumped up joke like O'Hare and still lost. So we should be in charge. And Eddy's fired. Look, SA, we don't have to like each other, but you are right in the thing. We have to teach Ray and AJ a lesson and remind them of their proper place in this business. AJ's a punk kid, and Ray thinks he's a legend when I built him up to be alongside. So tonight, work together, make sure they learn that a Guerrero family tradition is listening to your elders in this business. Knoble nods and says, I'm down with that, and they shake hands as this gets an 81 and builds up the tag match later tonight. Okay, there we go. And then we cut to a backstage promo where Jordan Rush is with still the WCW Women's World Champion, Joni Lawler, as she says, last night proved that this title will remain on my will remain on my shoulder for as long as I want, because I am the most destructive force in women's wrestling, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. I don't care who Bischoff decides to give the world title shot after War Games, because I am the alpha and the omega in women's wrestling right now, and there's nobody who can take the belt off Jordan Lawler. She walks away. 81, good promo as we continue things, and we go back to the ring, I believe. Yes, okay, so, we have a fun little match between two people on the undercard as Ken Anderson defeats Eric Harris in 458 by pinfall. It's the Kenton Bomb. I'll have to change that. So, Eric Harris, is a cocky prick early, but pretty soon he, goes for a top rope move early. Anderson takes over with his power moves and finishes off with the Kenton Bomb. And, honestly, so does some of Eric Harris for the undercard begins. Decent match, 44, because, these guys aren't the most over in the business. Eric Harris gets a 53, 59, actually. Ken Anderson gets a 42, only gets a 44. I'm going to guess no storyline. Low morale, consistency. Okay, that's, but still. Big win for the youngster Ken Anderson, as he gets a big win here on Nitro and celebrates to 47. Again, just building people up. Have to build up the bottom of the card. And the only way to do that is get them wins and be in big angles. So there you go. And then we go backstage, where we see Jason Jett, but a very different Jason Jett, as he is dressed flashily. He doesn't have a bow tie on, because that's King Cohen's gimmick, but he has, sort of a loud suit on. And he's talking about how, for so long, I've been trying to hold myself in, dealing with a joke like Paul London, and listening to and having to deal with stupid fans who think I'm like that. Well, no, I'm not like that. You see, I'm Jason Jett. I am money. And then Dean Malenko, the TV champion, walks and says, "No, you're just another punk kid who thinks because you're getting everything you want, you're going to be in a SOB." Jet's like, "Look, old man, you're champion right now, but I can take that belt right off you if I want to." And Malenko's like, "Fine. Revolution, show up to the ring. I'm going to give you a lesson. I'm going to take you to school, kid." That's we'll just have to see about that, because I'm money and you're a boring sack of crap. And so he changed Jet's gimmick to Easy Money, and that gets in great. So good stuff. So yeah, Jet's now a heel. I can't, because let's be honest with each other. The Easy Money name is really dumb. Jason Jet's still kind of dumb, but it's slightly less dumb than Easy Money. So there you go. And that gets a 55, because, well, it's Jason Jett and Dean Malenko, not exactly the most charismatic people in the history of the universe. And then we move forward, as we go backstage, where Wright and Chavo walks in Bischoff's office, and they're like, "Eric, what the hell happened last night?" And Bischoff's like, "Look, you have to, I don't know. I haven't heard from them since they attacked you guys. They do what they do. And I try to keep the damage to limited. But look, they'll probably be on Revolution, because once they do what they want, Morningstar, he'll take his opportunity to yap his gums whenever he has time. So show up on Revolution, and hopefully they'll be there to answer your questions. And hey, if you want to fight them, great. But I can't give you guys anything without actually getting some confirmation from those weirdos." And 74, decent little promo to continue, because of course after they retained their tag titles, Macias and Morningstar returned after a couple of months off and just attacked them and laid them to waste. 74, decent stuff. As honestly, I'm going to be honest with myself, Wright and Chavo, being built up as a good tag together is sort of one of my better jobs I've done so far this year, if I say so myself. And then we have a fun little match as About has the great wrestling. He's ranked with the crowd. Billy Ray defeated Lance Storm 701 by pinfall with the full Nelson bomb. This gets a 70 overall. Lance Storm gets an 85. Again, speaking of people that probably under push just because it's Lance Storm. 85. Brother Ray gets a 76. No storyline to this, so this gets the next minute I'll get it, but this gets 70 overall because it's short. And yeah, fun stuff. And they're just, basically like Lance Storm try to protect Noble, but Brother Ray overpowers him. Eventually, he gets the big bubble bomb, which I'll probably rename here, and gets the big finisher and the big win for him as he gets the 1-2-3 before Mike Awesome, who's up ringside, getting involved. But afterwards, there's a stare down between them before Brother Ray walks away, and Awesome helps his longtime tag team partner up, which gets a 69. And then it's time for the second hour sort of talking segment. Which, yeah, look at that. That's heat, brother. As Shane Helms comes out with Reno and Cash. Also Amber O'Neil, if I would have remember to add her, but stuff happens. And Helms is in full cocky prick asshole mode here. And he says, despite the bias against men like him, he's become the greatest UCS champion of all time. And last night, despite being matched against the world champ's best buddy, a former chosen one, who saw some stroke in the back, and somebody who only thinks he's being held down, when really men like me have been held down, I'm now at the mountaintop. And in just a few short weeks, I will become world champion. The world championship, I will take it because I've deserved it for so long. Because Sean, you've been given everything. And Havoc, I will take it all away and become the WCW champion. Because last night, what you saw, when you saw me knock out your buddy Palumbo, that's my new finisher. It's a nightmare in Home Street, because that's exactly what he'll be on. Because I know, super kick can stun you, but it can't knock you completely out. And, I can't get a big SOB like you up. But that move is a big strike, and it'll knock you the F out. O'Hare, and there'll be nothing you can do except try to explain away why a guy like me beat a guy like you. Then O'Hare comes out and says, frankly, I'm sick and tired of a bunch of whining bitches talking about me being in everything and being this supposed golden boy. You remember, me and the rest of the Thrillers, we were thrown to the trash once WCW restarted because we were part of the old regime. And we've had to fight and claw for everything we've got in this business. Look at this, as he points to a far right of his shoulder, and then points right above his eye, and then points on their shoulder. I've had wars with monsters like Macias, battled top teams in Jersey like Booker and Eddy. And the reality is, some people in the back, and guys like you, Helms, don't just like the future shock has happened. We're going to have to deal with it. Helms is like, fine, you want to prove that you actually are nothing but a joke? Face the big man here, who could have been just like you in the spot if he would have done the right things for the boys for the guys in the back. And O'Hare's like, fine, Reno, we used to run together for a little bit. Do you want to one other way? And I went another way. And next week on Nitro, I'll kick your ass. And Helms, that'll just preview what's going to happen to you at Halloween Havoc. So there you go. I have actually set that up for Havoc, right? Okay, yeah. So next week is going to be O'Hare versus Reno in sort of a preview. And a big 100 segment, because, these guys are actually pretty over. And then you have a little, again, courtesy of WCW Magazine / WCW.com probably at this point, some photos from War Games just putting over, men like Ric Flair, the Road Warriors, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, and Goldberg have all been involved in the hellacious of War Games. And now the women of WCW can add their names to that list after last night. This little thing gets a 68, and then we go in the ring. We have a Ray Lepin interview as he puts over, basically he's an international superstar. He's wrestled all the world. And now here's in WCW to prove that he's to be at the top of this business. And tonight's just going to be a preview of that. Decent little preview as I'm trying to make differences between sort of the new heels. Lepin's sort of the international star, quote unquote. Tank's, the sort of asshole. Keenan Short's sort of the cult leader, and building them all up. As this gets a 55. And then the match, which, isn't great, because it's Ray Lepin and Tony Gazina. Oh, shit. Fuck. I must have screwed up. Okay, this is not what happened. Ray Lepin got the win. And unfortunately, I must have... What happened here? I totally must have screwed up. Ah, damn it. Well, okay. Honestly, I'm probably just going to give Ray Lepin a squash win over Tony on Revolution, and just to give him his heat back or something. Because this is dumb. Anyway, it was supposed to be Ray Lepin basically dominating. He's going to get a couple flying moves and Ray Lepin winning. But obviously, I screwed up when I marked the winner. Anyway, this gets 42. It doesn't really affect Lepin that badly, because it's just a quick match on the undercard. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh well, shit happens. And yeah, Lepin celebrates to a 50, as he should have. Because, yeah. God, gotta love this game sometimes. Or your own mistakes, I guess. And then after that, you have Awesome Storm basically, with the camera following him as Awesome's Bubba was, he says Bubba, because of course, Bubba's not trademark. Dudley is trademark, but Bubba isn't trademark. Bubba always was a son of a bitch, but we'll get him next time, Lance. And Lance sort of shrugs because he's boring Lance Storm. He doesn't care. He's just a wrestler. They walk in their locker room, and April's start trailing behind him. Kidman walking in the locker room, and Kidman's being taken care of by some being taken care of by some, medics, as he explains that, well, you guys were out in the ring, somebody attacked me, knocked me out, I didn't see who it was, and, I just woke up to one of the refs, asking me if I was okay. So now, we don't know who attacked Kidman, but it seems like somebody's upset of him over something. We'll just figure out who that is. As this is a short segment, just basically Awesome Storm walking in and Kidman being given some attention by medical personnel, and just putting that over. As this gets a 69, as we move forward, and then it's time for holy shit, yeah, I'm gonna think maybe the person Boomer, I think it was, who commented Palumbo should have been the guy, might have been actually right. Well, I do have some booking that hopefully in the next couple months should, give him, should hopefully give Palumbo the proper push he deserves. Anyway, in the super match, Palumbo defeats March and Jack in 12-23 by pinfall to Full Throttle. A typical US Pro style match, back and forth, big power moves, suplexes, power slams, lariats, punches, kicks. But in the end, Palumbo takes over, hits the Full Throttle, and gets the 1, 2, 3. As this gets an 86, Palumbo gets an 88. Martin gets, again, distracts another guy who I should probably push harder. He's sort of stuck in that mid-card morass, as he gets a 73. And of course, what happens afterwards is the chosen few, including, Jarrett and Johnny Devine, try to run in to attack Palumbo, but he escapes. He battles, he probably just runs over Devine before being able to get to the, outside of the ring into the crowd, as the crowd pops, as this gets an 82 and continues to build up that big match for Revolution and the, underlying feud. And after that, we have a graphic saying Bill Goldberg will be at Revolution, and he will be, what's we're looking for? He'll be responding to the incident at Fall Brawl between him and Monty Brown. As at the Kid 71, it's basically just a graphic. Bill Goldberg, watch Revolution, he'll be there. Booker's ran out of time to have him on the show tonight. I mean, that's sort of the underlying thing. Then we have our main event. Ooh, ouch. This hurt. Let me see what hurt here. I mean, honestly, part of these guys aren't that over. Let's see here. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess. That's unfortunate. Because 90 something, I mean, okay, so if we go 80, 90, this should have been 85, but since I just started the new storylines, okay. Unfortunate. Anyway, so a match that was actually really great in ring, but the crowd wasn't quite into, but we'll get lots of probably praise on the internet and be posted as a underrated match in about 50, about 10, 15, but probably in a few years on the message boards and 10 years on Twitter. AJ Styles Rey Jr. defeated Eddy Guerrero Jamie Knoble in 1753 when Rey pinned Eddy following botched interference by Eddy. So, back and forth match, what do you expect? Knoble going after Rey's knees, AJ's firing back at Knoble. Eddy, basically there's a confrontation with Eddy and Rey, and they do their Eddy and Rey stuff for a few minutes, and then Eddy and AJ are in the match together, and Eddy's there, just picks apart AJ, because AJ is a great wrestler, and he has a great future in front of him, but Eddy Guerrero is still a former world champion and one of the best wrestlers in the world, so he just sort of tears apart AJ before makes a save. Things break down. Ebony Sable tries to interfere, but he accidentally goes for goes to come in and just run over Rey Jr., but Rey gets out of the way. He gets Ebony nails Eddy with a big sickle. Rey cradles, probably the Lamanta Straw on Eddy and gets the quick pinfall victory. And there we go, 74 overall, which is unfortunate. Rey gets an 89, AJ gets an 81, Knoble gets a 79, Eddy gets a 90, and post-match. Okay, I mean, this at least probably saves the actual show, as these guys just continue to fight. And of course, Eddy goes right after Rey. Ebony, tries to recover and tries to help out, but AJ goes after Ebony. That leaves Knoble to come in, and it's this big brawl down the show, which gets an 85. And, I mean, we did have two really good segments. Overall, the show itself gets an, 86. So that probably last segment, and honestly, the 100 probably saved it. And, yeah. Honestly, I was sort of thinking of doing Palumbo and Drake as the main event, but I thought it wouldn't do as well. Yeah, again, remember, Jesse, work rate doesn't matter that much. PT will be over. Anyway, 86 overall. Good stuff. And let's just see if there's anything interesting that happened on Raw and some other stuff, and then we'll go to Revolution. So let's just see. Nick Furno, he's a person. Again, the fun of a 3+-year-old save is day-to-day takes forever. Especially when it's the day with lots of stuff. Okay. Dude, you just reject? Okay, sure. Okay, that is actually kind of awesome. Sort of like as a lore in wrestling that, basically Air Raid broke up, AG beat Air Paris, and then Air Paris just basically walked out after losing. Like, he just disappeared into the mist. Well, sorry, Paris, yeah. I'll probably end up releasing him in the next day or two, but that is actually hilarious to me. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Nitro did well. Let me just see what those new storylines look like. So, Throwback, Ray and Eddy, 77, okay, not bad. And Nobly Phenomenals, I mean, so they're not terrible. Easy TVs, okay, I mean, it's Jason Judd and Malenko, what can you expect? And, okay, interesting. Anyway, if we check out, let's see here. First, just because I'm always interested what they threw on these. Okay, Big WWE Buffy, yikes. Mid 2000s, New England Wrestling. Iron, interesting. I mean, all 50s, which is interesting for the time period. Nitro's Nitro. So let's see what they did on Raw. Okay. So we had Matt Hardy defeated Shelton Benjamin on the pre-show. D1W defeated Cake on the pre-show. Shawn Michaels defeated Walt Warner in the squash. The Undertaker defeated squash. DDP defeated Rikishi in a tables match, 82. Vampiro, Benoit, and Regal defeated Orton, Saturn, and Snow in 87. Scott Hall defeated Venus in a cage match. Then Kurt Angle and Billy Gunn defeated Christian and Cage in 97. Interesting. Hey, I didn't realize. Did I never? Oh, right. Okay. So honestly, not much of a show, but they still got. But did I? They still got an 80s. Okay, actually, they didn't do that much better. They did the same as us. And that was kind of a throwaway. The show, by the way, they didn't have like the world champion. Only Angle really in a big show. Interesting. Anyway, that's for now. So I'll be back in just a moment with Revolution. And now it's time for Revolution, as we're live from the Des Moines Arena, or Wolf Walker's Arena, beautiful Des Moines, Iowa. And the show starts off with the music of Bill Goldberg as he comes marching out from his locker room to a huge pop from the crowd. And he says, I don't talk a lot. I know I talk in a ring, and it doesn't take a long damn time. But I'm out here for one reason. And that's to remind everybody that I am the man. And Monty Brown, if you want to have a fight, I'm ready to have a fight any damn time you want. So come out here and we can brawl all you want, man. But if you want to get in this ring and fight me, I will. You'll end up just like everybody else. Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, everybody, every name of note in professional wrestling. They've all got in this ring against me, and same things happen. Spear, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3. Big pop for that. As Monty Brown's music hits, and he comes down with Stevie Ray, and he says, Goldberg, you think you're special, man? No. You see, we're both the same guy. We thought our future was going to be in the NFL. It didn't turn out that way. But I'm just a few years behind here, and I'll be honest, man. It used to be an inspiration, but I realized I was never going to the same shots like you did. So I had to get help from my brother, from another mother, and dominate, and come up to WWE and dominate. But I was never given the same things you were did. By the time you were winning as many matches as I was, you already became a big time show. Well, people still try to avoid giving me my deserved opportunities. Gore's like, look, no. Everybody who fights and everybody has fighting across business, including myself. And look, there's people in the back who didn't like me. You can read all about it on the internet. But I did what I did my talking in the ring, and Monty, you should too. So want to fight, don't complain what happens back. Get in this ring and fight me. And they're about to face off. And I'm like, no. You see, I don't want this to happen in Revolution. I don't want this to happen on some random television show. I want to beat you in the middle of a ring at Halloween Havoc and prove that your time is over, Goldberg, and I'm the man. Goldberg agrees, and the match is on. For Halloween Havoc, our second big match, Bill Goldberg taking on Monty Brown. And this gets a 93, and really boost. Okay, so Monty was in his own basically storyline by his own, but that was getting cold because some bad things for me, and I didn't want to hurt the angle, which I think is sort of why the previous confrontation at Fall Brawl got an 80. So this gets a 93, and they're obviously already my number 2 storyline probably. And then we get a good graphic as it's Palumbo, Jarrett tonight. As this gets 72 as just a graphic. And then we get to our opening match for the television title set up on Nitro. And in the match, a decent match, Jason Jett defeats Dean Malenko in 9:30 by pinfall, Ali using the ropes for leverage. So back and forth match. Malenko does Malenko things, technical holds. Jarrett fights back, does some high flying. But in the end, he cheats to win. He rolls up, holds the tights. I was doing something over the top, rolling up Malenko, holding the tights, putting his foot on the ropes to win the television title. Hey, actually, honestly, better match than I thought. Oh, because they have weird chemistry. Oh, okay. Looks like there's going to be a rematch here. Anyway, as Jason Jett wins the WCW World Television title, as Malenko gets a 69, Jett gets a 64, and post-match, Jett celebrates with the title to the boos of the crowd, as this gets a 66. Fun stuff. And honestly, a little better than I thought because of the great chemistry. So, good times. As we move forward, backstage, as Hart Legacy are backstage, and then, AMW just sort of, walk up to them, and they're like, look, we lost our tag match at the pay-per-view. And we'll be honest about that. Right and Chavo, their tag chance for a reason, they got damn lucky. But anything can happen in that ring on the night. So we want to get right to the top. And Bischoff told us we have to find somebody to actually defeat to earn another shot. So you two punks are back here. And let's be honest. Hell, Teddy, you had a shot at a title. And you blew it just like us. So get in the ring and face your ass kick it. And Teddy's like, Jack was like, man, we'll take you on. And we'll prove to you that we deserve to be at the top of the tag division. Now you had your shot, and now sorry about your damn luck. And then we got a match up for later tonight: Hart Legacy versus AMW. This gets a 69 as well. James Storm did good, but the rest of these guys not the best match first. And Natty was just there because she's part of the Hart Legacy because she's a Hart. And then we have Boris with Jarrett backstage. It's just a quick promo. Not quick promo, but Boris just, asking him if Jarrett is ready for Palumbo one-on-one in the ring. And Jarrett's like, slap nuts. You don't understand. I've been the chosen one in this business before. And Palumbo, I know what you're thinking. You're going to beat me. You're going to be Booker or RVD. And then it'll be a big dream match. You versus O'Hare. But I'm here to kill that dream, man. Because I'm the chosen one. I'm the man who achieved my destiny. And rise to the top. And win that world championship again. And prove it's not about what kind of stroke you have, what you can do in that ring. And my chemistry tradition is dominating. And Palumbo, you're just another punk who thinks because he has a $1 million body, he can achieve in this business. But when they face an actual talent ring, he'll fall just like everybody else. So Slapnuts, face that truth. As he walks away, and this gets 78 as just not a super long promo, but still good stuff. As, moving forward and building up the big main event tonight. And then, come back from commercial. And Ron Simmons is here. He makes his debut, gets a 60, and he squashes Sean Stasiak in 351. Honestly, probably hits the power slam, not the dominator, but Sean Stasiak gets a little bit of offense in, but it's Sean Stasiak, and he's obviously the low guy on the natural born throw totem pole, unfortunately for him, and he just rolls over Sean Stasiak, 55 overall. Simmons gets a 62, Sean Stasiak gets a 51, no storyline, so that probably hurt it as well. Not the worst match, but not the best match either. And then Simmons takes the mic and says, I'm glad to be back here, but damn, it's been a while. So I gotta remind everybody that you don't step up to Ron Simmons. Anybody who has to ring against a veteran and prove yourself, well, you have to be reminded why I've been world champion before. He walks away. 60, decent little promo as we move forward here on Revolution. And then we go backstage with Chuck Palumbo, and Boris, asked him about Jarrett's comments earlier, and if he's fighting for a dream match against his longtime friend Sean O'Hare. I was like, look, me and O'Hare are great friends. We're brothers in arms, but this is about myself. This is about me proving myself that if I get in that ring one-on-one against anybody in this business, I can beat him. And Jeff Jarrett, you're right. You had a long standing tradition. Well, I'm just a guy who got interested in business, but I still fought and clawed to do my best. And now I'm here. And you think I'm going to fall just because you insulted me a little, or because you have a little bit more experience than me? Well, Jarrett, you're right. You're a veteran, but it's always time for new blood. And I'm that new blood, and I'm just going to run you over. 80, getting good promo, building things up. And then we go backstage. Oof. Not the best stuff, but basically, we had another Trish Guy, Lizzie Dumas confrontation. As Lizzie Dumas still explains, she hasn't been, cleared for a one-on-one match. So sorry, you thought after your team won, you get your match you wanted, but too bad. You still don't get it. Sky's upset, and there's a showdown. Before we basically set up that, on Nitro, Trisha's new charge, Ronnie Jonah, will face one of Lizzie's charge. And, if Ronnie actually wins, Trisha gets her one-on-one match at Halloween Havoc. But if the other charge wins, then, then that person will get their shot to take on Trisha. As this gets 63, decent little stuff. Honestly, not my best work, but just wanted to set things up. And then, okay. Not the best stuff, but I guess, I actually used Alex and Chavo, so I probably should have just, used cameos. Oh well. Anyway, Macias and Warren come out, big heel pop, and basically, Macias does Macias things in the background, looks scary, and Warren says, some are confused by what the message was. Some do not understand what the message is, but the message, as always, is simple, and we will follow it. You see, we have dominated wherever we have went. But there is a division that we have not quite been ready to dominate. And that is the tag team division. And of course, now that we are a duo, and I've lost our dead weight, the message will be dominant. The message will be successful. And soon, the message will be given the gift of gold once again. And there's nothing the current tag team champions can do about it, because the message is never wrong. You write Chavo, and they're like, Chavo texts me and says, look, you two guys have been great wrestlers, but let's be honest here. You've never actually been in the tag team division. You've been in some tag matches. You've been in some main event tag matches against other single stars, but you've never been in tag. So why do you think you even deserve a tag title shot? And Marshall's like, we destroyed you. What more did you think? Yes, you destroyed us after we were in a long growing match against one of the better tag teams in this business. But if you want to actually face us, you actually have to defeat us. So, and then before Chavo can say anything, Alfred says, Morningstar, face me in that ring on Nitro. And if you beat us, fine, win your tag title shot. But otherwise, you actually have to earn it just like everybody else. And I guess we had another match for Nitro. It's Outright versus Morningstar, where if Morningstar wins, they get the tag title shot, but otherwise they have to actually win to go through the tag division. As this gets to 75, because Ray and Chavo, not the best guys in the mic, but they're slowly getting over. And there you go. And then we have a backstage statement where Booker T is with Sharmell. And basically, again, I put them as acting here just for fun to see what goes on. Not the worst. Honestly, I was just sort of dreading that Sharmell would totally tank this, but hey, not the worst. And plus the acting. Anyway, Booker says, Seka, I'm here with my queen. And Rob Van Dam, you've talked, you jabbered on. But you need to accept that I have your number, man. And in just a few days on Nitro, you can talk about how you won it. That's fair to you. But if I would have been there and ready, I would have whooped your ass, boy. And you would have had to face the six-time world champion is going to rise to the top once again, because I am the best wrestler in this business today, even though I don't have the belt for just a moment. Sharmell adds in, my king will be at the top of the mountain once again, and there's nothing anybody thinks you can do about it. 68, decent little stuff as we move forward to a fun little 6-woman tag match, as in about that subpar wrestling and little heat. Celine Cartier, Jordan Cole, and Nania Hart defeated Amber O'Neal and European Union in 6:44 when Cartier pinned Nikita Colt with a Sissy Levy, which is the Emerald Trojan, and she gets a pinfall victory. Back and forth simple match, but the big win for Cartier, as the announcer is put over and strobe a graphic that WCW officials have determined, due to her getting submission in War Games, that Cartier is the new number one contender, and she will face Joni Lawler at Halloween Havoc. And of course, Cartier is a former Women's World Champion at the end of last year, start of this year. Another big match added, And overall, 60 overall. Natty gets a 34 because she's not really that over. Jordan Cole gets a 50. Celine gets a 50, mostly because she's currently injured. Nikita Colt gets a 61. And Rono gets a 53. Yusini Beers gets a 49. Fun stuff. And post-match, the Babyface Celebrate to a 31. Which tells me something, because what I did was just test it. I put them all on sex appeal. So, oh well. That was just interesting to me, but not the end of the world. And then we go backstage, where, Paul London is backstage doing wrestler backstage stuff, where John Couture goes up to him and he says, look, I'm coming up here by myself to show as a sign of respect. Because, London, you are champion, but it is a goal of the Empire to have gold once again, and you're our next target. You can either accept that or face the consequences. And Paul's like, dude, I like your cosplay. Pop for that. But you got to earn your title shot just like everybody else. So go talk to Bischoff, ask him if you can earn a U.S. title shot. And if so, I'll be great to face you whenever. But otherwise, I'm the U.S. champion for a reason, because I beat one of the better wrestlers in the world. And until you do something like that, well, you're just the guy walking around like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. 67, decent little stuff as we, set up that little angle and possible feud and move forward. And then we have a fun little angle as the Triumvirate talk to Eric Bischoff, like they go in Bischoff's office, and they're upset because, Kidman still has like a little thing on, a little band-aid on the top of his head. And, Austin's like, it's unacceptable that our leader was attacked like this, and there's nothing you can do about Eric. And Bischoff's like, look, there's no cameras back there. It's a locker room. Like, of course there's no cameras. So really, there's nothing we can do here. Like, figure out, if you figure out who attacked you, great. I'll, set up a match. But otherwise, this happens. It's pro wrestling. What can you do? And Kidman, like, this is just more proof you don't want us in our proper place. And just sighs, yes, that's it. Look, Billy, you're a great wrestler, but you got jumped. It happens. Figure it out on your own, okay? And Billy Kidman says, we will. And they walk away. As this gets an 83 and still sets up, like, trying to figure out who attacked Billy on Nitro. And then we have our semi-main event, as in a great match. Well, not really good match. Hart Legacy get the big win over AMW in 11:52. And you can just imagine, like, this is, again, they've had a ton of matches in the stage so far. And it's the same thing, high flying, lots of spots, lots of big moves. But this time, Hart Legacy get the big win as Teddy Hart gets a measure of a momentum coming back after losing the Cruiserweight title match, pinning James Storm with the open heart surgery in 11:52. This gets a 77 overall. James Storm gets a 75, Chris Hart gets a 70, Jack Evans gets a 81, Teddy Hart gets a 62, Eris was off his game, and good stuff as they celebrate to a 65. But again, solid big win for Hart Legacy to get their momentum back after honestly sort of being stuck, lost in the shuffle for a little while. And then before our main event, we have a backstage statement where Don Marie basically talks out Tank Tolan as sexiest man in WCW, and Tank gets in, I will face any man who thinks he's better looking than me, or who doesn't believe I deserve the title of sexiest man in World Champion of Wrestling. Because look at me, then look at yourself in the mirror, and accept the reality. As Don just continues playing with his chest, and does other few unnatural things. 52, decent little stuff, and just building up Tank and Don. And now it's time for our main event. I really hope this is good. Okay, great stuff. Okay, so honestly, like, this is like a really great, like, US Pro style match. Like, not a ton of spots, but like, it's a slow build, so like, Jarrett like probably like jumps Palumbo early and like really works on his legs, and Palumbo has to sell and fights back. Does the righteous babyface back of eventually fighting back. Lots of brawling, lots of punching. Not a ton of like big moves, but like imagine big lariat from Palumbo going for his full throttle, but Jarrett avoiding it. Brawl to the outside, guardrail, maybe some in the crowd brawling because it's Jeff Jarrett in the mid 2000s. Match comes back in. Palumbo. Jarrett may hit something like a DDT, goes for the figure four. Palumbo fights out of it. Palumbo fights back with a big lariat, spinebuster, sidewalk slam, stuff like that. Jarrett, again, cheats back, and eventually, things break down. There's a ref bump. Palumbo goes for a full throttle. Jarrett openly, like, just scratches his eyes out. Palumbo holds his eyes. Jarrett rolls out, grabs the guitar, wham. Jarrett kicks away the rubble. 1, 2, 3. Huge victory for Jeff Jarrett. 93 overall. Palumbo gets an 88. Jarrett gets a 91. Let's see here. Okay, Jarrett got a bonus for slowly building the match, and Palumbo also got a bonus for slowly building the match. So good stuff. 93 overall, and the show itself gets 88. Fun stuff. All right. And let's just see what happens here. Ooh, some interesting shows there at the end, which I'll go over. So let's just build stuff up. As we are waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. I could cut this out, but it's also fun. Okay. Yeah. So that's interesting. So like I said, Austin, I basically made him retire for moving his stuff down to 0, and now he's like, yeah. Let's see here. Anything else of interest? Nope. Natty, you're 22. Like, no. Anyway, sorry. Let me just see what they did here. Okay, so BCW, Petey Williams. He got a 52. I mean, it's in Canada, so probably not. But might be an interesting future signing. MLW, let's see here. Simon Diamond, Johnny Grunge and Glacier defeated Ron Harris and Robert Gibson. Jesus Christ. JC Daz, Mark Marrow, and Jerry Lynn defeated Violent J, David Flair, and Laz. Okay. And Jason Cross, that's his real name, defeated BG James. Okay, interesting stuff. And then Gaia Access. Let me just see if there's anything really interesting here on the undercard. Mix out Mers and main event. But no, I mean, Aja Khan, I guess, did she? Yeah, she must be really hitting her. Like, oh, right. I forgot Aja. Right, I forgot she got 2 injuries. Okay, so yeah, she's probably no good anymore. But yeah, let me just see here. This probably looks like a show that's in 2021 somewhere on the internet and is hailed as a great show with good stuff. And yeah, sorry, I'm just double checking all this anyway. But there was a couple of other fun stuff going on in the game, so just wanted to show you guys this. So first, CMLL had their big show. Ironically, since I forgot to set it as Arena Mexico, it's not even in Arena Mexico, which is hilarious to me. Anyway, so let's just go over Cml Anniversary Show. So we had on the undercard Los Bastardos, which is Mephisto and Villanueva 4 defeated Brazo de Plata in a 61. A lot of interviews, including Tammy Sitch, who's there. Tarzan Boy defeated Apollo Dantes in a 71. Mascara Magica, Villanueva 3, and Liz Mark Jr. defeated Rey Mysterio Jr. Nova, who is that Nova, I think. Is it? No, okay, no, this is a different Nova. Supernova. And Antonio Cortez, who is a regen, who's from CML Dojo, who's actually pretty good, including not a great star quality, but everything else is really solid for a young guy. So he might be a future star. We had Atlantis and the Afternoon Express, who I believe is, Archangel and Biasalvia defeated Averno, Mascara Divina, and Shocker in a 73, in an 80 rather, so that was a better match. So Rayo Disco Jr. defeated Tiamblis Jr. So Rayo Disco Jr. is 44 and not good, and Tiamblis is 38 and also not that good, but there you go. We had La Parca, Dr. Wagner Jr. and Silver King defeated Miguel Perez Jr. and Las Guerras de Inferno, which is Ultimo Guerrero and Ray Bucarano, in I believe it was in 78, which included Dr. Wagner Jr. getting 85 and Ultimo Guerrero getting 81, so one of the better matches. And then we had in the semi-main event, Negro Casas and Las Vipers, which is Abuso Negro and Electroshock defeated El Holtros de Solitario, Heavy Metal, and Ultimo Rebelde, which, for the CMO World Trios titles, and an 81, which was highlighted by Abuso Negro in 84. Fun stuff. And a main event, which is actually a pretty good CML main event for the time period. Latin Lover defeated Octagon in 77, 74 Latin Lover, 84 Octagon. So really big show for CML. And again, once we're actually in the beginning of the month, I'm probably going to go in and double check some of their stuff like in game, because I think there's something wacky going either with their schedule or their roster or something weird where they should not be losing this money. Like they should not have sold Arena Coliseum or Arena Mexico. Like that stuff should be making the money. So I'm just going to double check their schedule and see what the hell is going on. Anyway, but to go to WWE. We had Raw, which you guys saw, and then SmackDown we had let's see here. Cherry Slice defeating Elizabeth Love, Triple H winning a squash, which was a random 94, Edge winning a squash, which was a random 83. Winning matches that matter, Scott Steiner, Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit defeated Christian and Bubba McBride in a 98. Of course it was. Undertaker defeated Scott Hall in a 95. And the main event, Kurt Hall and Billy Gunn defeated Billy Gunn and Shawn Michaels, Big Show and Shawn Michaels in 99. So fun stuff. And then, yeah. First, look at our developmental. We had, let's see here, you guys would have seen that. No, you guys would not have seen this. Right, okay. So for our TV show, we had, let's see here, John Phoenix defeated Claudio, Shannon Ballard and Tony Jones defeated Trevor Rhodes and Stone Mountain by DQ. Tony Howard defeated Marcus Melitech to retain the North American Heavyweight title. Jason Cross defeated Matt Morgan by DQ in a 53. And Morgan's already up to a 20. Yeah, Krantz, Profit, and TD, Christian Mall and Vanguard, and Jimmy Rave and Tom Cole defeated Lazarus and Shane Ballard. And Travis Tom was already up to a 44, so he's getting there as well. And then for the weekly house show, we had, let's see here, Double C and Lashley defeated Siaki and Rayman. And again, I think somebody talked about this, and I am going to bring these guys up on a random Saturday night and just see what their actual chemistry is. If it's like actually good chemistry, I'll actually might team them up in the game and see what happens. We had Rothschild, Trevor and Snowman, the Vanguard. Let's see here. Cassie O'Reilly and Killswitch defeated Kai Graves and Marcus Militech, which is for, like 3 guys, including 2 regens. And then we had, let's see here, Adam Jacobs defeated Jason Cross in a 75. So fun stuff. And then for our women's Death Fed, where are you? There you are. All right. Weekly show, we had Becky Bayless defeating ODP in a 34. Ariel and the non-gay partners of Madison Tracy Brooks defeated Cindy Rogers and Miss Molly defeated Miss Chivas and Mega Women in a 44. Cheerleader Melissa defeated Vesson Harding in a 56. Cheerleader Melissa is going to be brought up soon. Basically, again, talking out of character. I mean, doing some spoilers. Once we go to a split, once we do the brand extension, women's division will be their own thing on one of the shows, and a lot of these women who I've not brought up simply because I don't have time for them will be brought up as part of the bigger women's division. Social Sheen of Amy Social, Nick Ross beat Beth Phoenix and Malia Osaka in a 55, and Anti-Authority defeated Allison Nader and Bonnie Maxon to retain the tag titles, which is interesting. And then, then there was the post-match tag, so 52 for that. And then looking at the HWA, let's see here. Stuff of note, John Cena won a 3 with Jimmy Jacobs and Billy Bax. Yep, and he's already up to a 41, which is nice. Rocky Romero defeated Barry Bradburn, who's a regen. We had Excalibur, Capitol, and Sharkboy defeat Addy, Douglas, and Club Deluxe. Sure. And Sharkboy is actually getting 63, so I might, in-game move him over to OVW pretty soon. Scott Fick defeated Corey Castle. Russ Haas defeated Alex Shelley. And probably match was actually pretty good, just because of their overness. Ecmo and Grunge defeated Cyber Squad. Cyber Squad is, of course, Adam Pearce and BJ Penn. Because, of course, when you think Cyber Squad, you think Adam Pearce. Extra Claire defeated Logan Kane to retain the HWA TV title in a 49. So fun stuff for that. And OVW. Oh, no, you guys did not see this. Or I did. I think, no, I showed you guys this. So for their weekly loop, we had Chemo defeated John Morrison on the undercard. Dan Jordan and Tommy Luke defeated Johnny Spade and Skyscraper. We had Sheriff Stock defeat Chantel Taylor in a 43. We had, let's see here. Other note, Justice, who's, of course, Abyss, defeated Rico. And we had Homicide and Spanky retains titles, defeated Maven and Mafia. Yes, that Maven, and yes, that Mafia. And then we had the other OVW show. Let's see here, anything of note. We had a terrible main event, but, what can you do? And Homicide and Spanky defeated the Jablonskis again. So, fun stuff. But again, to remind you guys, that's about it. I just don't think there was anything else of note to show you guys. Not really. Anyway, so again, link will be in the video. In the description for the pick'em. Go ahead and Right, Ranger. Remember, it's not going to be chalk, but it's also not going to be like 4 guys who have like no overness in the finals either. So think of that, like, or just pick your favorites. Who knows? You might pull it off. But again, there is somebody. Again, I'll directly email them, but just as a reminder, Tony did forget to put an actual winner, so go in, you can edit that, and there you go. But that's it for now. If you enjoyed the show, go ahead and give it a like, comment below what you're liking and not liking, and of course, subscribe to our channel for lots of TEW 2020 content, and hopefully more soon, along with other possible stuff, depending, but that's for now. So talk later, and adios. Have a good one.